Hi gamers. The PlayStation 4 is out in the USA this week. It'll be a couple of more weeks for us Europeans, but I thought what better time than now to go through my PlayStation 3 game collection. Put a nice recap on what Sony was up to this generation. Now I gotta warn you, many of you might know that I just preferred getting my multi-platform games for the Xbox 360, so that's the reason why I only have 49 games here for the PlayStation 3. But those 49, pretty much every game is an exclusive, so that's pretty impressive. But yeah, more on the multi-platform games in my up-and-coming Xbox 360 game collection video. So this will be mainly PlayStation 3 exclusives. So let's start here. Ape Escape, a classic PlayStation 1 game, now with move features. Yeah, not quite as impacting as the first game was, but still get good fun. Then I have some bigger collector's editions here on the side. I'm pretty sure I'll forget to take these out in alphabetical order, but so far I'm good. So C as in Catherine. I got here the Love Is Over Deluxe Edition, and this is an American version. I do have this for the Xbox 360 as well, but I got a good deal on this sealed Love Is Over Pizza Box Edition, so decided to get Catherine as this version as well. And yeah, these are great editions. We have here the pizza box and some boxers and a t-shirt, pillowcase, good stuff. And Catherine's, it's really quite a different beast of a puzzle game. Yeah, and great plot, great cutscenes, and all sorts of weird stuff going around. But I guess the main attraction here is the puzzling, and this is quite a tricky game, quite unique. Then we have Demon's Souls. I have here the Black Phantom Edition, and yeah, before this series became multi-platform, the first game was exclusive to the PlayStation 3, and it did create some waves. This before Dark Souls, this was a same kind of game, brutally difficult and unique game world, really creepy monster design, and just all-around excellent game design. Again, something quite different from developers from Software, and gotta give them kudos for breathing some new life into the RPG and action RPG genres. The Fight, standard PlayStation Move fodder here, not much to say about that. Oh, sorry, almost forgot here. iPad, got a sealed copy here of iPad, including camera. Got this for a very low price, so decided to get one sealed for my collection. It's a decent piece of software for kids. Now to Genji Days of the Blade. And yeah, what else you can say? Giant enemy crab and massive damage. Genji is a cult classic. Then, well, I guess I should take this first here. Again, a bigger edition. Probably can't fit this here. So we have the Ultimate Trilogy edition of God of War 3, which includes the HD remakes or collections of God of War 1 and 2 from the PlayStation 2. And God of War is it's of course a huge PlayStation exclusive series. But I gotta say, whereas it's always been one of the best showcases of power of PlayStation 3, and huge bosses, huge game worlds. The scope is really something different. But by the third time, I got a feeling like Kratos was. It was almost like a parody of itself. It just was so violent and so angry, and romancing all the ladies, stuff like that. I don't know. I kind of felt that I was too old for this game. I don't know. What do you think? Is God of War the kind of game that you want, or would you? I don't know. Maybe because the setting is of course fantastic. The ancient Greece and all the mythical monsters, and some light puzzle solving here and there as well. But I don't know. I just kind of felt that by the third installment, the Rage of Kratos has kind of became almost like a parody of itself. I don't know. And then I also showed you this. We have the God of War Collection Volume 2, which includes the 2 PSP games in HD form, Chains of Olympus and Ghost of Sparta. Yeah, even though they are in HD, so to speak, of course the graphics aren't that much better than on the PSP. But of course, for all of those who didn't own a PSP or just prefer to play it on their big screen, this is a great alternative. It's a great thing that they brought these to PlayStation 3 as well. Then Gran Turismo 5. I got first here the the signature edition. Put that away. And also here a regular version. Actually, it's a promo version, and what a huge driving game. This was in development for so many years. Can't believe they finally put it out, and now there's number 6 coming a lot sooner. So I guess they did the groundwork here with number 5, and just a huge game. I don't know. I'm not that big of a driving game fan. Actually, I don't really play driving games at all, but everybody knows Gran Turismo, and I know some of my friends are car enthusiasts, and they just swear by Gran Turismo. So there's this holy aura surrounding Gran Turismo, even though there are still missing some key features that are in competing driving game series, but still, at least here in Finland, which is a PlayStation country, Gran Turismo is really a revered game series. Then Heavenly Sword, one of the earlier PlayStation 3 games from Ninja Theory, and I guess the main hook here were the graphics and the motion capture and real actors. Like here we have Andy Serkis, who played Gollum and King Kong in Peter Jackson's movies. Was also the Mad King. Somebody can't remember his name. And really short and sweet, I guess. A gorgeous action game. A bit shallow for my tastes, I guess, but really a looker. Was something that you bought to showcase the power of the PlayStation 3 to your friends. Then Heavy Rain, I got here the regular and Move edition. I don't know, the Move doesn't really add anything to the gameplay, in my opinion. Heavy Rain was again something different. They did with the Quantic Dream did do Fahrenheit, as it was known here in Europe, and as Indigo Prophecy in the US on the original Xbox and PlayStation 2, and I guess PC as well. So that was for me the first foray into their type of gameplay, and Heavy Rain very much refined all those points where you could your actions made an impact in the story, and quite a gripping tale. I did like the facial animations, and but all in all, it wasn't quite there yet. There was, of course, this uncanny valley with the characters, so couldn't quite get up there feeling the same emotions as them. But great graphics and beautiful music, and quite some inspired game mechanics, some not quite as inspired, but all in all a very good experience. Only on PlayStation 3. Then more Classics HD collections. We got Echo and Shadow of the Colossus. And I gotta say, Shadow of the Colossus is my favorite PlayStation 2 game. So it was very welcome on the PlayStation 3 as well, especially as it fixed, I guess, its biggest problem, the erratic frame rate, especially in the boss battles. So now it's almost perfect, and yeah, graphically it was almost perfect for me already, but just a nice little sharpness added to it on the PlayStation 3 here. The same thing with Echo as well. I don't know, maybe pound for pound, this might just be the best single game on the PlayStation 3, at least in my opinion. Huge classic games on one disc. Infamous 2, missing Infamous 1 here, sadly. I'll have to pick it up one day. A new IP for the PlayStation 3 from Sucker Punch, and yeah, I guess the PlayStation 3 got quite a few new intellectual properties, so kudos for that as well. And an action game, sure, but again with these the powers and the way you can use them, it's again something a little different from the mainstream action games. Then we got Journey Collector's Edition, which also includes Flow and Flower. I guess I gotta talk about all three of these games. Flow is something very simplistic. It's a bit like a Zen game. You just look at the TV screen and keep playing, and it was I guess made to showcase the tilting aspects, the motion control aspects of the 6-axis controller when it first came out, and as such, I don't know if it was that good of a showcase for the controller. You kind of feel like especially Flow would have been a bit better with the regular controls. Well, I don't know, it doesn't really detract from the experience, whereas Flower really came into its own with the tilting of the controller. It fitted really well, and of course a gorgeous game. Both games and all three of these games are leave something for the imagination of the player. You know, what's it all about, I guess. And well, more so with the Journey here, many hail it as one of the best gaming experiences of this generation. I'm not sure if I'm quite there. It was very unique, and I enjoyed all 2 hours of it, and gorgeous graphics. I guess even better music. I just love the game world, and everything about it. But the main reason why it is so special is the online gaming, where you get to play with strangers and help each other out. Of course, there are some dicks around as well, or people just who just can't play or don't want to, you know, so-called role play the game like it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be on the journey, not making high scores or anything like that. So quite a unique game, and it only takes 2 hours of your life, so everybody should play Journey. That's my humble opinion. Then we get to Killzone, and well, I got here Killzone 2 limited edition collector's box, and this I definitely can't fit onto the screen here. And Killzone 3 Hellcast edition, yeah, that's it. I can fit it under the camera with the huge Hellcast helmet. And here's a regular edition of Killzone 3 as well. Killzone, kind of like with Infamous, and what else we got here? I guess some series that are still to come here. It's one of the most popular game genres, custom made exclusively for the PlayStation 3 with its own twist. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm a Halo guy. I love the bouncy mechanics and fast action. But Killzone 3 and Killzone 2 and the first Killzone on the PlayStation 2 as well, they are really heavy. The characters are slow and heavy, and guns feel like they weigh a ton, and even the reloading animations are really heavy and take a lot of time, stuff like that. So this is a more gritty experience. Great design all around the levels, and of course the Hellcast enemies that you battle, and a quintessential PlayStation series, and Killzone 4 basically coming to the release of PlayStation 4 as well. Then we have a Little Big Planet and a Little Big Planet 2. It's crazy. Of course, this started out as a platforming game, and that's what especially the first game is. And I played this to death. I collected every single sticker and did everything you could do single player. I'm not that big of a multiplayer guy. But I did everything I could with one player, and it was a really a hoot. Of course, the platforming controls and as far as the platforming precision goes, this is, it's not even close as the one of the best I don't know, platforming games there is. This is a nice platformer. But it really is nice because of how it was designed. Everything is physics based, and everything has a weight and texture, and everything is programmed to behave some way, and that's really everything has a certain set of rules, and because of that this is such a huge achievement. Not because it is really a good platformer in the truest sense of the word. And in Little Big Planet 2 they really took it. In one you could also make your own levels, and people did some really imaginative stuff. But in Little Big Planet 2 the sky was the limit. People started making first-person shooter games and puzzle games and 2D shooter games and role-playing games. Everything you could customize everything, and again, don't get me wrong, that is a huge achievement from Media Molecule to create a game like that. And people have toiled away thousands of hours on some of the best levels there is. But again, sorry to be so gloomy about this, but even if it does take hundreds of hours to create, and it takes every bit of creative imagination to create within this little platforming game, the end result, let's say a first-person shooter, it is still a very poor first-person shooter, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's amazing that they have managed to create it with the confines of this game, but as a first-person shooter, you wouldn't play it for a minute if it was sold separately. So that's quite an interesting, I don't know, social study as to people go into Little Big Planet and experience adventure around all the levels that were made by other gamers, and they really, even at their best, they really aren't that good when compared to other games. I guess I don't know if I'm making any sense here. Maybe I should just shut up, because I do held these in high regard as creative challenges and creative accomplishments. Then a multi-platform game for a change. I do have this for Xbox 360 as well. Actually, this is still sealed, my PlayStation 3 copy. Mirror's Edge. Kudos to EA for greenlighting some new IPs for a change. I guess they did Dead Space, whatever. What else did they do? Well, this is one of them. Hopefully we'll get the second game soon. But this is basically a platformer. It is shot from the eyes of the character, and sometimes, yeah, you hold a gun, but this isn't a first-person shooter. This is a platformer, and a 3D platformer in its purest sense. Really fantastic level design. Everything has been polished to a mirror sheen, if you will, and I love the controls, love the rules that make up for dictate your how you move about in the levels, and you can take different routes, and really makes you think. And the best part is, of course, when you're being chased after and the adrenaline is pumping. You keep jumping, making perfect jumps all around, and you just feel like you're a parkour champion. Really a fantastic game, and I guess one of my favorite new IPs of the entire generation. Mirror's Edge. And then we have Modnation Racers. Basically a Little Big Planet on wheels, as it was, I guess, at least unofficially marketed. A driving game where you can highly customize your character, your vehicles, and your levels, and then share them to the rest of the gamers. And Move Mindbenders, a collection of games that utilize the Move peripheral. We have here Tumble, which was an early Move game, one of the better ones, and Echochrome 2, a fantastic puzzle game, and Lemmings, classic Lemmings gameplay with the Move integration here. And of course I missed here these two in the alphabetical order, but let's go now to the middle. Last of Us. In my humble opinion, The Last of Us has some of the best, if not the best, dialogue in video games, voice actors in video games, and I don't know, overall story in video games. Everything is just so mature. I know the word mature is thrown around a lot, and usually it doesn't mean good, but in this case it really does. Everything revolves here with the sort of a father-daughter relationship of Joel and Ellie. Really two likable characters and very humane characters, beautifully written, and to me this is easily the best game that Naughty Dog has ever made. I don't know, maybe it has something to do with me being a father now as well, but I just really resonated with the story, and of course there were some inconsistencies, and of course the gameplay itself, it was either, I don't know, it was done well, nothing too spectacular with the action, or it was done really poorly, like with this really had the poorest enemy artificial intelligence in video games. I kid you not. When it comes to the people you have with you, Ellie and all the others, the enemies just don't react to them. It really destroys the atmosphere of a sneaking mission if you try to keep your head down, and then Ellie just walks around, runs, stumbles into soldiers or the zombies, if you will, and they simply don't react to anything they see or hear, and they only react to you and Joel, and that's a huge buzzkill. But luckily that's only in the sneaking sections. The action is very nice, but to me the game really comes into its own in the, well, everything in between, when they're just talking and advancing the story, and yeah, really happy with the ending of the story as well, and to me this is one of my favorite video game stories. Can't recommend it highly enough. Then, last game here in the middle, Metal Gear Solid 4. Here we have the limited edition, the European limited edition, which includes a Snake figurine and a bonus Blu-ray disc and a soundtrack CD. And I guess I'll talk about the game first and then the edition later. To me, I love Metal Gear Solid. I'm a huge fan, and but I guess I'm not that big of a fan, because the true fans say that this was a really hideous game. They raped the entire story and introduced all sorts of things that they shouldn't have, and tied loose ends sloppily and all sorts of things. But I gotta tell you, I don't know, I don't remember the full story. I guess not as well that I was bothered by it. To me this was a fantastic story, and fantastic action and sneaking as always. The gameplay is always top-notch in Metal Gear Solid games, but I did really enjoy the story as well. And with the final battle, well, not final battle, but one of the final battles really brought a tear to my eye, with Snake and Ocelot fighting it out, and of course the beautiful music going on, and I just loved. This was nice end to this storyline in my opinion. But about this limited edition, this just might be the rarest limited edition of this entire generation. As you might have noticed, pretty much every limited or collector's or special edition They sell for big bucks when they come out, but usually every single one of them can be found for half price at some point of their shelf life. But Metal Gear Solid 4 limited edition was something quite different. These sold out immediately, and these were really limited. And I guess the opened ones can sell for, I don't know, 200-300 euros, whereas sealed ones go for several hundred more. So this is, to me as a collector, they really should do more of these kind of things that really reward the collector for being awake when the game comes out, and it's truly limited, something truly for the collectors, and really happy to own this edition of the game. Then we have a Ninja Gaiden Sigma. The PS3 also got its own version of the Xbox Classic in this game. Then another collector's edition. Here we have Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch Wizards Edition. Originally released on the DS, also got its release here on the PS3 with very lush visuals and full-blown, very gorgeous cutscenes made by Studio Ghibli. This is really like a breath of old air, I guess, for people maybe who think like that Final Fantasy is too un-Final Fantasy these days. So this is really an old school, nice grinding RPG, JRPG, good stuff. Then PlayStation Move Heroes, collection of various PlayStation mascots here in their own game, and like the name suggests, some emphasis on the Move controller. Nice platforming game. Then Rage Anarchy Edition. This is still sealed, actually. This was a donation. Haven't had the time to play this yet, but I will someday. Then there were a bunch of Ratchet and Clank games on the PS3. I'm actually missing Tools of Destruction, but after that came Ratchet and Clank Quest for Booty, which is a very short game. Like it says here, Ratchet and Clank Mini Adventure was released as a downloadable game, but also got its release here on a physical game as well. And then we had Ratchet and Clank A Crack in Time. This is a collector's edition with this lenticular cover here. Also by Insomniac. And also Ratchet and Clank All for One, which was a bit special in the fact that this was a 4-player game, a multiplayer game, and lots of new ideas for the action and platforming came with the inclusion of multiplayer here. Then just put this here. Resistance 3. Here is the Survivor Edition. You can also see my unboxing for it here. Check out the link. And Resistance is again one of those PlayStation 3 franchises that was tailor-made, I guess, for the console, whereas Halos and all other series run rampant. The PlayStation 3 also needed their own first-person shooters, and Killzone and Resistance to the rescue. And actually this was made by Insomniac, who also made the Ratchet and Clank games, so they were very industrial in this generation, put out lots of games. Resistance really has a nice identity of its own, with the whole alternative reality plot, and even the overall design of the chimera enemies. Then Siren Blood Curse, very nice horror game. Then a bunch of move games here. Sports Champions. Then Start the Party. So basically promo games that I've got from work, but still a nice addition to the collection. Start the Party, Save the World. Then more nice old school RPGs. Tales of Xillia. This is the Day 1 edition. My favorite of the Tales of series is Symphonia on the GameCube, which is also coming out for the PlayStation 3 later on in a collection. Tales of Xillia, again, it's nice to see really traditional values in games, especially in RPGs. The Shoot, even more move goodness. And then another Classics HD collection, the Sly trilogy. Sly is it's really a huge series in Finland. Again, like I said, we are a PlayStation country, but Sly was in a league of its own in the PlayStation 2 era. I guess it was mainly to do with the fact that it was one of the first games to be translated into Finnish. The characters spoke Finnish, and that really helped it to get to a really high place in many Finnish kids' heads, I guess, and many still look back fondly at the Sly trilogy, and now here in HD form on the PlayStation 3. Then we get to Uncharted series. I guess I'll just go through these first here and talk about them later. Uncharted Drake's Fortune, first game in the series. And here is a limited edition collector's box of Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. And here of Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception, I got the Explorer edition. Comes in this Nathan Drake's trunk box here. Very cool stuff. Uncharted is I guess the quintessential PlayStation 3 series. If you ask, I'd say most people who you ask what's their favorite PlayStation 3 game or game series, most people answer Uncharted. To me, I guess it is the Last of Us, which also is made by the same company, Naughty Dog, but most people I think says Uncharted, and with good reason. Fantastic graphics, some of the best, if not the best, on the system, and really I do like the fact that this is really an old school adventure, like with Indiana Jones, and I think that's like a huge part of the charm in with Nathan Drake, the character, and the Uncharted games in general. They do get quite silly, especially each game towards their end, with lots of, I don't know, supernatural stuff going on. I guess I could have lived without those elements, but still there are really nice historic locations, excellent puzzling with some, you're trying to open some ancient tomb or something like that. There's usually a block puzzle or a tile puzzle, or something needs to be lit on fire, so Nathan Drake to the rescue. So great varied gameplay with the puzzling and sneaking, and of course the action. and some really nice action set pieces on trains and planes, and really adds to the sense of adventure when you're traveling all around the world. Much like Indiana Jones, it's pretty clear what the inspiration here was. But Nathan Drake is also a hero on its own, and possibly the quintessential PlayStation 3 game series. Getting closer to the end of the pile here, Valkyria Chronicles, strategy game from Sega. Then Virtua Fighter 5 was also released on Xbox 360. Really a long-running fighting game series. Then White Knight Chronicles. This was hailed or hyped first as this next big thing in RPGs, but ultimately I guess this was a bit of a letdown for RPG fans. Made by Level 5, who also made Dragon Quest 8 and the Professor Layton series and many other games as well. But this kind of fell short. Actually, I'm not that big of an RPG expert, so maybe somebody in the comments can say what they liked and disliked about this game. But this was also a PlayStation 3 exclusive, as was the sequel White Knight Chronicles 2, which included the first game. And finally, Yakuza 3. Many more Yakuza games have come out in Japan. Not all of them have come out here in the West. But Yakuza, it's really a cult series, exclusive to the PS3, with those installments, and kind of reminds people of Shenmue, I think, with the action and exploration aspect, but still this is quite a different story here, and lots of side missions and distractions. You can go to hostess clubs and stuff like that. The game series is very known for those, but still very has a cult following in Japan and here in the West as well. Yeah, and I guess that was it for my PlayStation 3 game collection. Actually, I do have quite a bit more games downstairs, but those are all SingStar games. Those are the only games, I guess, you could say that my wife owns, so even she has a game collection, only SingStar games. But I just didn't want to bore you with those in this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.